Prominent law firm is suing Xcel for its alleged part in starting the Marshall Fire, what the lawsuit claims and what the couple behind the lawsuit wants to happen.
Two Colorado lawmakers taking on the State House. They claim that too much happened in secret behind closed doors.
It's summer, the temps are in the 90s, but not all the mountaintops are safe to climb. What rescue crews would like you to know. Two people have filed another lawsuit against Xcel Energy over the Marshall Fire.
Now, this comes after the Boulder County Sheriff's Office said that sparks from Xcel Energy equipment helped to start a second ignition site to that fire. And 9 News reporter Jaleesa Irizarry was able to read up on the lawsuit filed today. So what are the plaintiffs claiming here?
Kim and Tom, they claim Xcel did not do enough in preventing their part in the fire that destroyed more than 1,000 homes. The lawsuit says Xcel knew that weather and dry conditions put the area at high fire risk, adding the sheriff's office even warned the public about it. Yet still, the lawsuit says Xcel failed to take appropriate actions to prevent the fire. The plaintiffs claim Xcel could have done a number of things like de-energize its power lines or perform a public safety power shutoff, which is when a company voluntarily shuts off the power. This is something some utility companies do in order to keep communities safe during extreme weather or wildfire conditions. The lawsuit states had Xcel taken any precautionary steps, the Marshall Fire could have been prevented. The two individuals who filed this suit are asking for compensation for a number of things, including damage of their property, out-of-pocket costs, lost wages, and emotional distress. Now, we did reach out to Xcel Energy for comment regarding this lawsuit, and we have yet to hear back. Kim?
All right, thank you, Jaleesa. We'll follow up on that tonight.
We turn now to new details about the shooting that killed a motorcyclist on I-70 last week on the 4th of July. 2 men now face charges in the death. A police report says that a witness gave dash cam video to detectives showing a dark-colored Ford truck and the motorcycle speeding down I-70. The video also shows a person in the truck firing shots at the motorcyclist, 32-year-old Kyle Van Luzenoord. But it doesn't show what led up to it. 20 shell casings were found at the scene. The report says the truck was stolen, but then found at the home of one of the suspects. Police say that suspect, 25-year-old Nelson Miranda Rivas, admitted that he was driving, but he says that another man, 21-year-old Cesar Ramirez Rivera, actually fired the shots. However, Miranda Rivas did not say why those shots were fired.
The pursuit of a shooting suspect in Aurora ended with police crashing into the car of innocent bystanders, sending the officer and 2 others to the hospital, and the shooter got away. The crash happened last night at the intersection of 6th Avenue and Peoria Street. At the time, that officer was pursuing a suspect in a shooting a short time earlier in that area that injured a woman. The officer and the 2 people in the car were taken to the hospital. Their injuries are believed to be minor. 9 News legal analyst Scott Robinson says Colorado's law is murky when it comes to a liability officers could face for a crash during a pursuit.
If there were a bright line rule, it would be easier for officers to follow it, but there really isn't. The basic rule is you can engage in a police pursuit with lights and siren as long as you do so with due regard to the safety of others so as to not endanger other people's life and property.
The suspect that was being pursued took off after the crash, remains at large. The SUV that person was in was abandoned near the intersection of 2nd Avenue and Peoria. We're still waiting for more information about the death of a man in Summit County yesterday at the hands of law enforcement. The Summit County Sheriff's Office says it started with a man waving a gun and banging on residents' doors in the Summit Cove neighborhood. Deputies and officers with Dillon Police tried to de-escalate the situation, but police say the man pointed the gun at officers. An officer shot and killed him. So far, his name has not been released.
TSA officials say they've stopped thousands of guns at security checkpoints, and they saw more at DIA than the year before. Of course, you cannot have firearms in carry-on luggage, but in the first half of this year, officers say they found 3,251 firearms at airport security checkpoints across the country. And TSA says 92% of those guns were loaded. There have been 93 firearms found in carry-on luggage at DIA. That number was just 77 at this time last year. Legal gun owners who want to travel with a firearm must declare so at the airline ticket counter and have to have that firearm packed in checked baggage.
A few scattered thunderstorms around the state, but overall hot and sunny. Hot and sunny. That'll be the theme for the week, Kathy.
I think we're ready for a little break, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually go to a pool, not have to get rained out.
Yes, yes. And 90s, not something we want to endure for a really long time, but it's nice to give everything just a chance to dry out a little bit. We've had so much water recently. And outside right now, mostly sunny skies, 92 degrees in Denver. Out at DIA, that's the warmest at the airport so far for the season. Clouds building over Fort Collins and Boulder. A few light sprinkles earlier today. No issues for weather for travelers on I-70 today. The cloud covers brought us back down to 86 in Denver. We were 93 last hour, and it's really dry. Notice the humidity values coming way down, but where we're seeing that increase in moisture is where the thunderstorms are this afternoon. Severe thunderstorm watch for eastern Colorado through 7 o'clock. Some of the cells have gone severe near Ray. We're tracking large hail and heavy rain. Southeastern Colorado, a similar scenario around La Junta and Lamar. The storms are moving really quickly, which is good news, but lightning, rain, and hail, something you'll find if you're traveling into this part of the state this evening. Downtown Denver looking good. The heart of the evening drive, sunny, mild, and dry. Storm Prediction Center has eastern Colorado in the outlook area this evening for more of those storms with hail and rain. But around here, a few high clouds, a mild night, and temperatures in the low to mid 90s will stay there until after sunset and then drop into the 80s. We'll look for a warm, dry start to the week. We're looking at 90s for multiple days. Will we see record highs? I'm going to talk about that coming up. We're tracking those severe storms to the east, and really just a nice summer-like pattern shaping up for Denver, and I'll talk all about it in just a few minutes.
Two first-year Colorado House Democrats are suing the State House of Representatives over alleged open meetings violation. This, according to our partners at Colorado Politics. In the lawsuit, Representatives Elizabeth Epps and Bob Marshall allege that both Democratic and Republican caucuses held frequent secret meetings and would tell legislative aides to leave them off of or disguise them on legislators' calendars. The suit also says bill sponsors would hold presentations in the meetings and discuss how members would vote on the legislation. The House Republican caucus has responded, calling the lawsuit an expense that is a distraction from priorities that they care about. Colorado Politics says Democratic House leaders say they're still reviewing the complaint, but are committed to open and transparent government. While the future home of the U.S. Space Command headquarters remains on hold, so are bonuses for Air Force personnel. This after Alabama lawmakers blocked funding until the Air Force Secretary makes a public announcement as to where the new command site will be. The current facility is at Peterson Air Force Base in Colorado Springs. But in 2021, the Trump administration changed the plan, moving it instead to Alabama. But in March, the Air Force Secretary said an announcement would be coming soon. There's been some further analysis he said was needed, so it's still a question as to when that decision might be announced.
Swifties know what week this is. Taylor Swift brings her Eras Tour to Denver Friday and Saturday, and it seems like some folks are still trying to get tickets. And if they do, they'll have to pay big time. Tickets are about $1,000 on major resale sites. So if you see a deal, you better look twice. Verify the ticket seller. Don't pay with cash. Watch out for people selling paper tickets outside the gate. Most of the times they're fake. Also, know that sites like Venmo and Zelle do not have payment protection options if you do not receive your tickets.